Welcome back, everybody, to the War of the Visions Draft League, or WDL, Season 3, Week 1. I am Kason, and I will be your host. I'm incredibly excited to get into this with you guys. First and foremost, if this is your first time watching one of these videos, welcome. This is a draft league, and what this means is there are a ton of different players who play at War of the Visions. They draft a number of different units to be on their roster, and they compete against other players every single week in a best-of-3 format. We have a regular season, which lasts 9 weeks, and then after that, we have a playoff bracket to decide who is the grand champion of the season. It is a hell of a lot of fun, and if you are familiar with the WDL and have watched the last couple seasons, most of that stuff is going to stay the same. A couple of changes from last season. First and foremost, we have doubled in size again. We did it from season 1 to 2, and now we did it again from 2 to 3. That means there are 40 teams in this league. It is absolutely insane, which means we have also doubled in size for our divisions. So we now have 4 divisions. We started off with Rundall and Heinler. We also now are adding Leonis and Wazette as divisions. So we have 4 different 10-team divisions. Hopefully that all makes sense. Within each 10-team division, we have changed the playoff seeding just ever so slightly from last season. Last season, top 4 made it. This season, top 5 have a chance to go. Basically, the top 3 will clinch a top 16 round at the end, and the 4th and 5th seed will face off against each other in another best of 3s to clinch that last playoff spot in the final week. I'm really excited to get into this season. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, you guys. The rules in general are pretty much the same. Still 220 cost for your team. Still cannot do mono element. There are a number of cost changes for a bunch of the units, but otherwise it is mostly the same. The other biggest change I want to go over, though, is not anything to do with the league, more so with my videos, is the fact that I am going to cut out the vast majority of filler, the matchup preview graphics and things like that, kill leader sheets, assist leader sheets. I got some feedback that a lot of that, some people really weren't truly that interested in anyway. And the other thing is, I really want to try and give all the players a spotlight to shine. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to cast every single game every week. That is a lot of games to cast. I'm going to try and do my best to cover as many as I possibly can, but the more that I do those matchup preview graphics, the harder it is to do that. So that being said, I think I've covered everything I wanted to do in this first intro video. For the most part, I'm going to cut this kind of stuff in the beginning and just get right into the games. And before I do that, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the members on YouTube. Thank you so much to these 14 people. You guys really, truly mean the world to me. Thank you for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. It helps me do what I do. And guys, I have rambled long enough. Let's start to get into these matches. The first match of this Season 3. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, jumping into the first game of Season 3, we've got Alcor's Diminishing Returns versus Catra's Sandrock. Looks like a couple of light units on Catra's side with Balo versus a full strike team coming out from Alcor. Violet is going to walk forward immediately, 4,800 damage, and she actually absorbed health. That looks like a Blood Sword build as, oh my goodness, Perrine Subjugating Fist drops Violet immediately. That is not looking good for Catra right out of the gate, as Stern Wing of Destiny is going to go with his Reawakening, and this fight is immediately popping off. I had pretty much no time to talk about anything here, but here we go. Mariluk with her new 140 ability is going to go Protect on both her and Raldor, get her own defensive piercing rate up. Raldor is going to pop that Bradley TMR and walk forward, so he has haste and reaction block. Keenblade coming out from Balo, 500 CT for the party, as well as some slash attack. Convergence going to chain, drop that healing power down, but Perrine crucially did not get her self-heal skill online because she immediately just walked forward and dropped Violet. So maybe this could end up working out for Catra here, as Sentinel comes out from Raldor, so his defense is quite high at the moment. And Rebel Grace coming out from Mariluk. This is Astrus's TMR, gives attack and agility in a little diamond formation. Not a true, like, diamond ability, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Taunting Blade comes out from Balo, the 30 cost unit popping off, claiming the first kill for Catra's team here, as Stern Wing of Destiny, 110 cost unit in our format. Can he show it here? He goes for Infinite Light, Limit Break, 6,000 on a Mariluk, about 3 on a Raldor, but he's going to get his own physical damage up and give himself haste. Raldor is going to go Chasm Runner on Balo. I don't know what kind of strike resist he has innately. So I'm not sure that is 8,400 damage. I'm going to guess not a lot of strike resistance. So what can Mariluk do? Probably finish off this kill. Surge Strike's going to come out. 6,000 damage is a lot considering the elemental disadvantage. And Raldor and Mariluk in a 2v1 versus Stern here, but he is hasted up. He goes next. He's only got 17 AP though, so I don't think he can find the AoE. Aegis Crush is going to take out Mariluk. This is now a 1v1. He's going to lap, but he doesn't have enough AP to use an ability. 3,000 just about on a Raldor. He should... Oh my god, the miss. There's an evasion, somewhat evasion build in this team for Catra. He is running Violet also, so it does not surprise me that this Stern is kind of dodgy. Raldor finally gets the kill, but this might end up being the difference here because he lived one turn longer, gets the re-raise, CT up. He's going to go next, and you have to imagine he takes this game 1 victory here. Yes, he does. Catra's going to pick up the game 1 win against Alcor in the diminishing returns. Jumping into the second game here, guys, let's look at the team comps. It looks like the exact same teams brought out for both squads here. You are allowed to switch in between if this is your first time viewing this, but they decide to keep it the exact same way. It looks like an initial buff rotation actually going to go off this time. Looks like Alcor moved his units back a little ways, so this way the AoE resist buff comes online for Perrine, and this is an interesting ability for Violet. Dazzlus Cendrillon, or whatever it's called, CT up on critical hit. So if Stern Wing of Destiny is able to crit, he is going to boost his own CT up even further than he already does with his re-raise ability. That being said, Mariluk with her 140 upgrade, again, a very nice buff. This is looking like probably the same turn rotation that Alcor wanted in game 1. He's just able to pull it off this time because he wasn't as far forward. Keenblade coming out from Balo. Violet's going to walk forward. She's going to enter the fight with her big old diamond attack. Vorpal Blade, 1,900 damage. Not a ton. I think I said this in the last fight, but looks like she heals a little bit back. This means that Violet is actually running the Blood Sword. I do wonder if that will end up mattering because Perrine one-shot her last time. You can't lifesteal if your health bar is 0. So we'll see how it works. Stern Wing of Destiny going to walk forward. Convergence, a nice AoE on the party, and also boosts his own slash attack piercing rate. So he is probably going to pretty much ignore Slash Pen at this moment. Chasm Render comes out. We saw this absolutely dumpster Balo for about 8k damage last time. That did almost 11,000 this time. The 30 cost Balo never stood a chance. Violet, what has he got? What has she got though? Razor's Edge comes out and takes out Mariluk, so she is already doing more this fight than she did last time. Looking good for Catra in this game too, but Subjugating Fist is a guaranteed hit. You can't dodge that, Violet, and she drops immediately. And now Stern Wing of Destiny is in a 1v2. He pulled it off in game 1. Can he do it again? Aegis Crush comes out, and basically the heal pretty much just ignores that damage. Standard attack for 4,200 is pretty crazy from Raldor, and I just realized he got a CT up buff. I think that was a TMR that Perrine used earlier. Maybe it's one of her own abilities, but it's CT up on crit, so basically both squads have this going for them right now. And here's the re-raise with the CT up with Stern. I can't imagine there's any way he pulls this off. He would have to basically double kill here. I just don't see it. Infinite Light, it's going to give him haste. If he can kill Raldor, give himself haste, and lap Perrine, yeah, it's not going to happen. Raldor is going to go next. This looks like it's going to be going to a game 3, guys. You love to see it. Our first series of the entire season, and we're going to a 3rd game. Guys, final game of our first series of Season 3. Catra of Sandrock versus Alcor of Diminishing Returns, and we are seeing the same run back for the 3rd time. These have been 2 incredibly close fights. Who takes it in game 3, though? Alcor got the edge in the most recent game with the same turn rotation that it looks like they're trying to do right now. Catra switching his positioning, though, so he didn't like something about what happened last time. Dazzlus Cendrillon comes out, so that is an evasion up buff for Violet. Unless it's an AoE, though, she's not going to dodge anything because it's more likely Perrine's just going to single target kill her like last time. Mariluk walking in with 10,000 health, though. You have to imagine that's probably a max reincarnation Mariluk, as it is easy to come by MR and SR scrolls. And now that buff coming out from Raldor, if I hadn't mentioned to you guys yet, you are now allowed to reincarnate your units as much as you'd like. We banned that in Season 2, not in Season 3. We are allowing pretty much anything goes here. So Bells comes out from Violet. She's going to get her AP going, and she's ready to use whatever the heck ability she wants to do. Saintly Wall comes out from Stern Wing of Destiny for a physical health shield, and it's only physical damage coming out from Alcor's team. So, a much slower paced fight up to this point, as we see the Astrius TMR come out again for, I believe, the 3rd time here. But a lot of units here are going to have tons of AP because it is taking a good chunk of time to close the gap. Balo, can he get in range for a Taunting Blade here? No, he can't. He goes for Immortal Spirit, so he has Courage. That could make a difference, though, because Rundall was able to one-shot him last time. It's at least going to take one more hit to get through. This is the limit break from Violet. We haven't seen this in literally, like, years. Oh, man. The 3-hit chain takes out the physical barrier for Raldor, and Convergence going to chain nicely, drop Healing Power. If he does try and lifesteal off that Demon Purger skill, that won't be quite as much. Vortex Kick comes out and Violet dodges it. That could be pretty major here. So what does Mariluke have in the tank here? Surge Strike is now a guaranteed hit with the Monk upgrades. 40 cost unit my ass. She is a beast. She takes out Violet in one hit. It's nice to meet you. And what does Raldor have in the tank? Chasm Render, you have to imagine this is going to bring him down to 1 health. He's 2 for 2 with it already, and he is 3 for 3 now. Strike Attack Resist down. He is down to 1 health bar. Perrine, can she find AoE? Yes, she can. She goes for Vortex Kick, and now Catra's Stern is down to a 1v3, and I'm looking at the turn order. It's looking pretty grim for him because Raldor and Mariluke are coming up next. Can Alcor pick up his first series win as a new player? Mariluke's going to go next. Pop the Surge Strike. It's going to drop Stern. He does have the re-raise, but there is a full health Perrine. Even if he can find an AoE, it's going to be pretty tough. He gets his own CT up here. He's got 109 AP. That's a lot to work with, but this is 1260 health in a Dream. This is Infinite Light, Limit Break. This will give him haste. So similar to like game 1 or maybe game 2, he gets a double kill. He gets haste. Can he go next? He does go next. Oh my god, no way. It didn't proc her heal back because it didn't do enough damage. 7,500 kills Perrine. Oh my god. And Catra's Stern takes the 3v1 victory. Dude, wow. I thought that was completely over for Alcor. I thought there was like a teeny tiny chance, but honestly, the fact that his limit break didn't do enough to proc her self-heal actually was really good for him because then he was able to just chain it with himself for 7k. I have no words. Guys, that is one hell of a way to start off Season 3. Alcor, I'm sorry that you lost. That was a banger of a series. Catra, congratulations on your first series win. We've got 4 more best of 3s to get into. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, so the next series that we've got up to bat is none other than Coppola with Holy Divers versus Iceheart and Stag Party. And it is a Stag Party here as we have Jaden Rundall coming out with Lucia and Little Leela, it looks like, as Skahal, Nivlu, and Mariel comes out from Coppola's side. So what does Iceheart go with? Magic Blast plus immediately 5,000 damage on Nivlu, but does not one-shot her, very importantly. Lucia is going to follow it up, though, with a Sharpshoot that basically one-shot Skull, leaves him with 1 health. Can Skahal find a AoE here immediately, though? I don't think this is what either team really had planned. I think they wanted their tanks in the middle to take the aggro, but the damage dealers are just assassinating each other. Reflex comes out from Lucia, so she is going to live. Jaden gets popped immediately by Skahal, though. And now the question is, can the tanks get close enough to draw aggro? Little Leela is running the opposite way. She needs to run closer to those damage dealers, and she's running away from them. Nivlu is going to follow this up and probably just kill Lucia here. Spider Rain's going to come out. This is a absolutely disgustingly cool limit break. Going to drop the defense. Going to drop her health bar to almost 0. Lucia goes next, though. Can she hit the tank? I'm pretty sure she can reach the tank. Yes, she can. Spiteful Blast, 4,600 damage. Very respectable. Lands the slow. But Skahal can't reach the tank. And you have to imagine this is probably over in game 1 for Iceheart as 14k damage from Thunder comes out from Skahal. That boy needs nerfs, let me tell you. 4,500 damage from the Mariel. Nivlu's going to follow up with Bells and says, okay, let's just calm things down a little bit. Let me get some AP and get into this fight. Little Leela, 50 costs in our format. Can she pull off a 1v3? My guess is probably not. But if they get close enough and she can find a diamond AoE, maybe. Thundergut's going to come out, though. 12,000 damage is going to remove Little Leela from this planet. And as I try to pause the video, game 1 goes to Coppola. All right, guys, as we jump into game 2 of this series, will it be as high octane as game number 1? Man, these 2 series have been absolutely ridiculous so far. I can't even get my thoughts straight before everybody is just assassinating each other. It looks like this might be a little slower pace, though, based on this positioning, as aimed fire comes out from Nivlu, and it looks like Coppola is stacking the entire team instead of separating the tank. Spirit Barrier going to come online. That is a 70% magic health shield, and Mariel's walking in with almost 15,000 health. So she is a monster at 50 costs in our format here, as Iceheart has changed up the squad. She's got Little Leela, Yuna, and Dark Fina, and she goes with the light and dark resist up. That's not going to matter a whole lot other than Mariel's damage, but it's a good little AoE to keep the positioning together. Sweet support, that is Little Leela. The Bold's TMR going to get agility up on the entire party, as the regular Little Leela is going to go with the King Bradley TMR, haste, and reaction block rate. So, Nivelu going to pop bells. This is the same as the first game. It's just a lot more chill than the start of the first one. And what does Yuna go for here? Does she go for like a re-raise or something? She's already used, she's channeling, so I think this is re-raise. She's already used an AoE buff. That is typically when she starts going for re-raise now about this moment. Mariel does not have a second buff to use, so she'll just save herself a little bit of CT as she walks forward. Skahal, this is probably his movement and jump buff, because that is pretty much the only thing that he can cast that is not damage. So it is Wing Staff. So he should have 4 movement and 2 jump at this moment. So he can pretty much get wherever the heck he wants to go. Silencing spell comes out from Little Leela though. That's actually pretty massive, as Mariel is not going to be able to do anything at all. She starts with 10 hate. That is going to need to be enough for Coppola, because she is not going to be able to get any more at any point, and she's not going to be able to really do damage. She's probably just going to walk forward and standard attack. She has 4 movement. She actually goes for Mug, which is actually great because it removes the haste from the King Bradley TMR. That was actually amazing. I didn't expect that whatsoever. Dark Fiend is going to walk forward. Queen's Judgment. So she's going to say, hey, that barrier, yeah, we need to get rid of that shit. Let's drop that barrier, start to do a little bit of chip damage as Nimble Movement comes out from Yuna. So did she use re-raise, or did she just do nimble movement? I missed the re-raise if she used it. Thundaga comes out 5,600, and Little Leela is a good magic tank, but man, it is tough right now for her. Silencing spell about 2,700 on the opposite tank. Nivelu is a good, has a good amount of range though, so I think she should be able to reach here. Dispel Spread takes out the Little Leela, and it gets a little bit of chip onto the Dark Fina. I say that the re-raise did come off because it looks like it went onto Little Leela the tank. Can Yuna get in range for a heal? Because that is the big question here. It looks like she's going to go for a Kiriga. She's going to get it off. Dark Fina goes Sorcery Strike, 12k on to Coppola's Mariel. And now all of a sudden, what looked like it might have been in Coppola's favor, I'm not so certain now. So let's find out here. Skahal, can he kill Little Leela? He has a ton of damage. He's already dropped the lightning resist, but it actually just goes for flare. That means if he's going for that, it's probably a kill, because otherwise he would have just went for an AoE here. And Nivelu, what does she follow up with? Does she go for a limit break? And she probably goes for Yuna here on the back line. Yeah, she's going to. Does this one-shot Yuna? If it does, I think this looks pretty grim for Iceheart if it one-shot. It does not, though. Yuna's going to be able to heal this back. She does not proc the Aeon Bond, the bane of many people's existence for quite a long time. She starts to channel a heal here, and Dark Fiend is going to walk forward. I imagine this is probably like a Dystopia. She's probably going for AoE Dystopia. No, it's Comet. 7,800 damage. Drops Nivelu in 1 hit. And Skahal, what can he follow up with? He's still got his Courage and Re-Raise online, so he basically has 3 health bars right here. Divine Thunder Summon. Does it kill? Does it paralyze? What do we got? Yuna is a goner. And Dark Fina still has her Re-Raise, I believe. Skahal has his and his regular Courage. It is now down to a 1v1. Battle of the 100 cost units in our format. They are both 100 in our format, I believe. So Skahal is going to go next. What does he go for? Flare? Does this one shot? 7190, not quite. So she's going to follow up. She's going to proc the re-raise here. No, he goes for debilitating counter, 3,400 damage. Oh my god, that counter is such a ridiculous weapon. That might be the difference in the fight. I don't know if he would have won that or not, but he's going to get the Thunder, and he's going to pick up the Game 2 win. And Coppola with Skahal, who he basically did not lose a single game with last season. I think he, actually, I take that back. He lost 1 single game to Machen. Pulls up the 2-0 series victory over Iceheart, who is a very strong player. GG's to Iceheart. You know, better luck next week. But that was a fantastic series. We got 3 more to jump in for you guys. All right, guys, the next series we're going to jump into is Dawn with Primordial Inquisition versus Jesus LBL, a veteran with the Straw Hats. And it looks like this is a double wind strike team with Ravis as a tank coming out for Jesus and the Straw Hats, as the King Bradley TMR comes out from Tifa. On the other side, we've got Dawn running some water evasion here with Chunak. Okay. I didn't think that was that. Okay, All right, guys, the third series of this division. We've got Jesus LBL, a veteran of the WDL with the Straw Hats, versus Dawn, a new player with Primordial Inquisition. Dawn, notoriously, he is the King Bradley player in this division, but he's not bringing out King Bradley. This is a water evasion squad with Chunak, Raychez, and I'm trying to see who the third unit is. It is Nasha. So Nasha and Ice Tank might actually be kind of nice against the wind damage on Jesus LBL's team. He's got a couple of wind strike units, as this King Bradley TMR is everywhere. Let me tell you, Blessing of the Truth comes out, area attack resist, a couple of another really nice resistances up for Edward here. And that is an interesting technique. That is Heal's TMR for fire and ice resistance. So it looks like something Jesus might have been a little afraid of ice damage coming out from Dawn's team, as Blade Bash comes out from Nasha, does almost nothing to Ravi's. That was incredibly well tanked. Courage comes out from Tifa, a unit that we did not really get to see last season, so it's exciting getting to see her paired up with another strong strike unit. Blade of the Fatal Waltz, Chunak, who popped off a little bit in Season 2, doing a nice little bit of chain damage on a Ravi's considering the elemental disadvantage. He is hasted up. He's only got 15 AP though. And I think I said Raychez earlier. I definitely meant farm. If I said Raychez, I apologize, as this is Padfoot, haste and hate down for farm in the back. Tifa's going to go overpower plus, but it misses Chunak. So this is a dodgy squad coming out from Dawn, and it looks like you might need a guaranteed hit, although I don't think Wallbreaker is. I think it's a single target selection one that is the guaranteed hit. So it looks like maybe Edward's got some accuracy built in. He can be a pretty accurate unit, as a good chunk of damage comes out from Chunak. I think he actually chained with himself from last time. He only does 2,800 to Tifa though, not a ton for Dawn, and it looks like the turn order is going to favor Jesus very, very shortly here, as the standard attack coming out from Nasha with a really cool weapon skin. Blinding Cross takes out the Chunak. I think that might be a guaranteed hit now. I believe Ravi's 140 upgrade made that a guaranteed hit. Focus Strike comes out for about 2,000, and they're slowly whittling through this tank, and as long as they have the accuracy, it looks like Jesus and the Straw Hats are probably going to pick up this Game 1 win. This would be an incredible comeback by Farm, a unit who we have not seen in the WDL, I think, a single time. I think this is literally her debut in our league here, as the counterattack comes out from Jesus's Edward. That's pretty brutal. Momentum comes out from Tifa. That tells me she either didn't have enough AP, or she literally can't hit. She's not accurate enough. Blade Bash misses. I mean, it's never over till it's over with an evasion unit, but I'm pretty sure Edward is going to live this, and he has a guaranteed hit, and Ravi's does technically too, so it's going to be pretty tricky. Sonic Severance though, 4,400 damage. Looks like Ravi's does not have any more hates. She has used all of hers up. 27 actions left. Can you hit? Yes, you can. 5,400 damage is going to drop the farm, and Jesus, LBL, and the Straw Hats are going to pick up the Game 1 victory. All right, guys, game number 2 of this series, as Jesus picked up the first game victory. He is looking to try and win this series, as he just barely missed the playoffs. He was very much in my boat last season, and I know he desperately wants to make it this season, so he's trying to start off with a bang. Can he do it, or will he be denied by one of our new players? As Bradley does not come out again, but this is an ice squad from the other side. Looks like something that could be pretty threatening to Jesus's team with the double wind, as we see Aranea, Lorenzo, and Snow, a very, very cool team. The same squad coming out from Jesus. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And let's see what we've got here. You have to imagine that Dawn has a little bit of an advantage here with the elemental side of it. Reprieve comes out from Snow, so he gets his courage online. And my question is he also able to get his self-heal online, or is he going to enter the fight? Ravi's with all that movement, I think he is not going to be able to use that. The heal back is pretty nice to have, although he does still have courage, and there's no courage removal on the other side. Unyielding Stance comes out from Tifa. She's rare and ready to go. Guard Haste coming out from Lorenzo. So Lorenzo's a very interesting unit. You can pretty much just go as like a try to be bulky damage dealer. You can also just use him as haste support in the back line, as Overpower comes out, does practically nothing to Snow, showing off that ice versus wind advantage, but Full Metal Rage is going to drop a ton of defense from Snow. If you guys don't know, this is the biggest defense break in the entire game, I believe. And Snow, what does he have? Does he have an AoE? Otherwise, he normally goes for Smite too. What does he opt for here? He goes for Ravage, a nice little AoE on both Ravi's and Edward, but my god, the reaction hit for almost 5k. That's absolutely insane. I think it is an elementalist attack, so it's actually probably more damage than some of his other abilities might have even done. Blade Bash comes out and lands the stun on Snow. So elemental advantage be damned. It looks like Jesus is putting on a clinic here. He almost procs the courage from Snow, and Aranea needs to get into this fight immediately. She still can't reach. This is looking pretty rough as Snow is going to be stunned for his next turn. He never got that self-heal up. He's going to drop to the next attack. Lorenzo, what can you do? He has a couple of really nice attacks, but the problem is his tank is in the middle of it. So can he find that big AoE? He can't. He literally just standard attacks. I think, does he only have one ability on? That's brutal. And he couldn't pull it off because his tank was in the middle of the group. I think he would have literally just dove onto all three of them, and he can't pull it off. Focus Strike comes out from Tifa for 10k, kills Lorenzo and Aranea. Oh my god, honey. I think you're a decent damage dealer, but there's just no way. High win, very cool limit break. At least we get to see that pop off as she murders Tifa. She's only allowed 1 health. Wallbreaker comes out for 3600. And honestly, this looks like one of those fights that if Lorenzo was able to find that AoE, this might have looked a little different. But I just don't think there's any way, you know, with Lorenzo just doing a standard attack that they could have won this. I say that. Aranea could find an AoE here. There's no way she can triple kill though, right? I mean, she's going to kill Tifa for sure. What can she find here? She's taking her sweet time to decide. Brandish comes out. She actually can't find an AoE. It must have been a height range issue, I guess, as she only goes for Tifa there. But that is a game 2 victory for Jesus, LBL, and the Straw Hats. So a very impressive team. You know, I sang the praises of this team in the draft recap video. I think he did an excellent job drafting, and he's doing a very good job executing as well. So GG's to Dawn. Thank you so much. New player coming in here. Best of luck in the next 8 weeks. Jesus, LBL, congrats on your first series win. We've got 2 more series for you guys. All right, guys, jumping into this 4th series, and it is Thunder Mage of my guild, Thunder Gods, coach of Shadow Wizard Money Gang versus Koryu87, coach of SEES or Seas. It is a Persona 3 reference. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. As Enchanting Skies coming out from Summer Helena, and I want to let you guys know real quick, there was a recording issue with the first game, so Thunder Mage actually won game 1. So we are entering this in game 2. It is already 1-0 Thunder Mage. What is going to happen? Let's find out here. As Amnelis, Velis, Severo comes out from Koryu. So a very interesting water magic composition with Velis supporting from the back as Valade pops off his Barblizera buff with the Summer Helena and Queen backing him up. A lot of lightning damage versus water. You have to say that this is a major advantage to Thunder Mage as the elemental advantage is right there. Koryu trying to call his bluff here, it looks like, as he is very much a lightning player. But I think game 1, Thunder Mage actually brought out Sodali, which might have been a pretty big reason as to why he won. So going with the TMR here, Berserk Nullify. This could be because Vega TMR is now in the game. Just concerned about some of that. As Charge Johanna comes out from Queen, doing a very sizable chunk of damage to both Amnelis and Velis. And Amnelis is going to drop about 3k damage onto Queen. You have to imagine Velis is just going to basically full heal both of these units. But so much haste, so much healing. Can they overcome the elemental disadvantage here? Amnelis is a beast of a unit. What is she going for here? She's taking her sweet time thinking. So she's probably going for an AoE here. Snow Healing did not do a lot though, because Charge Johanna actually does drop healing power, but Valade is gone. Midsummer Magic comes out from Summer Helena, dropping the Courage, which is actually pretty massive because Severo had Courage online. And Queen is going to go for the limit break. So this tells me that this is not a full physical build. This is probably a mixed damage comp, or a mixed damage Queen coming up from Thunder Mage, as she did opt for a magic attack, gets her own haste online, and it seems like everybody is freaking hasted right now. Snow Healing, that healing power down from Queen though is just looking absolutely massive versus this Velis. And I don't know, man, can Amnelis overcome this? What is going to happen? She goes for Ternary Seal, drops the Queen. Summer Helena is now down to about half health. Beach Spike is going to take out Amnelis, and now it is Velis versus Summer Helena. Can Velis pull this off? He's going to channel damage here. Sub-Zero comes out, 6k, drops to Courage. Summer Helena, you have to one-shot. She doesn't. What is going to happen here, though? Because he probably just goes for a heal. Because he is a weird AI. He's going to heal himself. What is going to happen? Oh, my goodness. Deep State Impact comes out. Does a chunk of damage. He's just going to heal himself again. Would this go to turns? Can she actually get to a point where she can one-shot? I mean, the same shit is just going to keep happening over and over again. I don't know. He's going to heal himself again. I imagine that Koryu probably wins this on turns because of healing. Unless she all of a sudden can just do more damage. She's not going to, though. She's doing as much as she can. No, she laps. I don't know what happened, but she lapped Velas. She lapped him, and she wins with 1 health. Oh, Velas's stupid AI unfortunately gets him killed against Thunder Mage. Thunder Mage picks up the Game 2 victory and takes the series 2-0. Man, oh man, if he wasn't healing and he actually would have went for damage, that would have been a win for Koryu or Kayuma, as you see on the screen here. GG's to both of these new players, both of them brand new. Congrats to Thunder Mage on getting his first series win. I do apologize for not having the Game 1 video for you guys, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. We have one more series to get into, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. All right, guys, the final series of the Rundall division. I said before this week it was going to be the match of the week. It is none other than our Season 1 champion, Surf Taco, versus our very own Ready Player Will. I'm sure you guys are very familiar. So a couple of really interesting compositions coming out here. It looks like Kadia, Alphonse, and Urel. So a kind of semi-strike composition coming up from Will with Kadia's support in the back, as it looks like Kefka, Adelard, and Whisper coming out on the first rotation here from Surf Taco. And Surf Taco made a name for himself last season with a very offensively strong Whisper. Is it that same build, or is it the tank build? I imagine it's probably much tankier. This Harlequin's Hijinks, agility up and magic up, I believe. That is Kefka's TMR, as Adelard's going to use it on the party. And you can see with these two players, these initial turn rotations are so damn well executed. Calamity Guard giving a bunch of status, nullifications, a one-hit barrier to the party, a bunch of really nice things, as Adelard's probably finally going to go for fast cast here. So he's going to get haste online. Whisper's got her protect, shell, regen, all of that good stuff. An indomitable stance giving courage to Urel, walking forward with about 10,000 health. And here is the haste. And Surf Taco's team very shortly is probably going to be pretty much hasted up, as Dragon's Pride. Haste comes out onto Alphonse. So the Kane TMR, movement and haste up, getting Alphonse up very, very speedy. One thing I will say is that this is probably a pretty damage-heavy build for Alphonse here. Maybe not, considering the healer in the back. Light of Judgment comes out for 2,800. Not a tremendous amount of damage, considering that Kefka is an absolute beast. Wow, Alphonse is soaking that incredibly well. Dual Veil, Dark, and Earth for the dark damage, but there's not a whole lot of it. It's basically just from Whisper. Will may be expecting a Sephiroth comp coming out, as a big old AoE comes out from Urel. Kefka's going to go next, though. What can he find? He finds a big old AoE. Does this one-shot Kadia? No, it doesn't. She must have a pretty healthy amount of AoE resistance in the back here. Alphonse going to go next. Boulder Blockade. No more barriers going to exist here, but there really wasn't any to exist anyway. Protection Break comes out for 250, dropping the defense and spirit of Alphonse here. 16 AP left on the Whisper. Adelard going to channel something. It is damage. It's Ruin. I have never once in my life seen anybody use the ability Ruin. I'm pretty confident. Kadia is going to go for likely a heal here. Who gets their cast off in time first? Kefka goes first, nukes the Kadia, and it looks like Surf Taco is in very good position to pick up this Game 1 victory. Rend the Heavens kills Kefka. So this is not over, although he does have the re-raise. He's going to come back with CT up, and I say it's not over, it's probably over. Whisper, Kefka, and Adelard are all going to go before Urel. And as long as they have AP, it's not going to matter. Come on, let's play. Come on, let's get this Game 1 victory. CT up. Is it enough for her to go next? No, it's not. Adelard's going to walk forward, poker with his sword. And Surf Taco, our Season 1 champion, an absolute beast of a player who made the playoffs Season 2, takes out Ready Player Will in Game 1. So what does Will have for a response in Game number 2? All right, guys, jumping into Game number 2. Ready Player Will, an amazing player. Can he overcome Surf Taco's team? We said it in the draft recap video, but I think Turambar and Surf Taco have by far, in my opinion, the best teams in the entire league. Can he overcome that? We'll have to find out. Fatal Oath going to come out. Remove Courage on attack for the entire party here, coming out from Urel. Atonement for Dwayne. Defense piercing rate up on himself, as well as a bunch of really nice buffs for the party. And Miranda is going to channel here. Is this a fast cast, or can she reach damage from this spot? I don't think she can reach. That would be pretty surprising to me. What does Kadia go for? She's going to go for, it looks like probably the Calamity Guard, as it looks like a very similar turn rotation coming out from Surf Taco here. But this party I like just an absolute ton coming out from Surf Taco. This is full Red Mage synergy. Red Mage is gaining a lot of really nice cards as of late. Keenblade coming out from Dwayne. So this party, even though it's 3 elements, plays like it's 1 element. The cards just synergize so ridiculously well together. And Urel, Indomitable Stance, going Courage. So very, very similar turn rotation from Ready Player Will. So my question is, like, does he think, or was he predicting a team comp switch? Did he call this? Or did he decide, you know what, this is just the strongest team I got, I'm just going to run it again, we'll see. So we'll have to see what happens here. So Immortal Spirit, excuse me, comes out from Miranda, gets her own Courage online. Urel did add Courage removal, though, on their team. And Kadia is not in position to heal. Yeah, she's going to go for damage, going to go for Shadow Flare, drop the AoE resistance on Dwayne. 3465 is actually a pretty healthy amount of damage here, coming up from the heal support in the back. Fast cast from Adelard, so now the entire team for Surf Taco is hasted. I say that, but the haste actually expired for Dwayne. Absolute Terror comes out, removes the Courage from Urel, and he actually healed some health back, so I believe he is running the Blood Sword right now. Rising Calamity, 6,400 is enough to take out Dwayne, and Will is at least in a much better position than he was in Game 1. There's a full health Alphonse versus Miranda and Adelard, 2,500 onto the Alphonse, not a ton. What can Adelard do? Ceiling Thrust just did 6k. I am stunned by how much damage that Adelard just did right there. Boulder Blockade, 5,400, removes the Courage. That's pretty massive. She does get her heal back up, but if Kadia can get this heal on Alphonse, I think this looks pretty good for Will. 6,800 health, healing onto the Alphonse. And what does Miranda go for? She's going to go for probably another Water Gun, Dispeller. No Sleep Landing, so another good chunk of damage. What can Adelard do here? He did 6,000 last time. So goes for Firaga, Incarnate, drops the Kadia, 3,000 plus onto Alphonse, and he is out of AP. And my goodness, this Adelard is putting on an absolute show. And they are both still hasted up. I mean, it just finally expires for Miranda. Watergun's going to come out, 2,500, and it puts him to sleep. I don't think there was a chance anyway, but Adelard's probably going to finish it here with another Ruin. 6,900 damage, and wouldn't you know it, Surf Taco comes out swinging, says, hey, I will accept that challenge of Ready Player Will, and our Season 1 champion looking incredibly impressive in Season 3 here. I said it from the get-go, his team is insanely good, and it's just got so many ridiculously oppressive options on it. I could see Surf Taco just doing insanely well all season. So that is all the series for this video, you guys. Let's take a look at the standings. All right, guys, after 1 week of play in the Rundall division, we have a tie up at first place here with 5 different teams winning and 4 of them winning in 2-0 fashion, which is actually pretty impressive. We've got Thunder Mage of Shadow Wizard Money Gang, Surf Taco with Reagan against the Machine, Jesus LBL of the Straw Hats, and Koppel of Holy Divers all in a 4-way tie for first with a +2 plus or minus game win-loss rate, and obviously they won their series. I apologize, I didn't put this win-loss mitigated loss column in here correctly. I missed that. I'm sorry. In 6th place, or 5th place, we've got Catra Sandrock. He did win his series. He did win it 2-1. So technically he loses the tiebreaker to these other players, but the main thing is the points. That's really the only thing that matters a whole lot right now. Alcor in 6th place did manage to pick up a game victory against Catra, even with the series loss. So he is in 6th place with 1 point. And we've got a 4-way tie for last currently with Dawn of Primordial Acquisition, Koryu87 of SEES or C's, Iceheart of Stag Party, and Ready Player Will of the Pandas. That being said, guys, we have a 9-week season, so there's tons and tons of time for these players to come back and make a difference in the division. 8 more matchups for all of these guys. There's so much left to play. But this was an absolute blast. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We've got 3 more videos coming out for this week, and I will say, this week I'm trying to cast every single game. It's probably not going to happen every week. I'm going to level with you guys. But I'm going to do my best each week to try and film as many games as I possibly can. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all your time. Have a wonderful day.